Hi, everybody. I'm Helen Maldonado with Network in Action, NIA professionals right here in Katy, Texas. And just in case you don't know anything about NIA and what that is, it is the future of business networking. If you are not familiar with it, check out some of the reasons we're different and we need to chat. Today we're here with one of our favorite members, Deanne Lyles with LegalShield and IDShield. Tell me, what is LegalShield and IDShield?
Well, LegalShield and IDShield, LegalShield specifically, will give you access to resources that typically will cost you an hourly rate, and this is a monthly rate. So you can contact an attorney and for so much per month. And the way that's able to work is we have so many members that our law firm here in Texas gets paid about $1.4 million a month. So it gives them the opportunity to say, how may I help you, rather than how may I bill you? And that lets people have a little more access and be aware of how they can use an attorney on ID.
So is it almost like having an attorney on retainer?
It is.
Oh.
Absolutely it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And people, you have to learn how to have that available. Because people will think they can handle things or Google things. And the last time I checked, Google didn't have a law degree. So it's important that you get an appropriate answer for what the law says.
Right.
IDShield, it is going to provide you a licensed private investigator that will reinstate or restore you back to pre-incident status. That's a lot of words. All that means is that you make one phone call. You are assigned a licensed private investigator, and they clean everything up, and you keep living your life.
So you don't have to take that on as a full-time job.
Absolutely.
when you're compromised.
Right.
You know, because I have several friends that became their full-time job, just trying to restore their own identity from somebody in another country that has taken their life. And it's horrible. So what makes IDShield just completely different than the other identity theft protection companies that are out there? Because there's a lot of them now.
There are a lot. Well, one thing is you're working with a company that's been in business almost 50 years. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
You're going to have the licensed private investigator, like I said before. There are a few other products out there that offer total restoration, but they don't offer it with a licensed private investigator.
Oh.
It also will cover every single area of identity theft. So you tell us what to monitor. So is it your bank accounts? Is it your email addresses, your credit cards, your passport number? It doesn't matter. You tell us and we'll monitor
Everything.
that. Everything. Absolutely.
That's what I'd be saying.
Yeah,
everything. I think that's what I did say. So are there specific vertical markets that seem to be greater targets for...
Not anymore.
No?
No, identity theft is so rampant, and it's still the number one most reported to the FTC for the last 16, 17 years. Number one. So it's just a matter of having and knowing that your information can be protected and or restored. That's the biggest thing. If it's compromised, which all of us will at one point or another be compromised. The big key is whether we know it or not. And one of the big scams right now is attacking people's 401k, their retirement funds. So
That's just cruel.
They're doing it through or via email. Some of them are phishing emails. And when you click on the link thinking it has to do with your 401k, you've just given the thief access to your email and any information related to what they have in the company. So there was a young lady who was compromised for about $80,000. And the thief changed her address and then had a check cut sent to the new address. She went to cash that, and then the second check was cut, and they went to cash that. By the third one, she realized she was compromised, and so they blocked the third check. That was... So one of the things that makes IDShield so different is we also have $1 million insurance policy along with the total restoration.
Oh.
And part of that reimbursement policy can go toward reimbursing the funds, like the $80,000 that she lost. Not every identity theft product out there offers that.
That's awesome. So how does LegalShield and IDShield work together? And do they come together automatically, or?
They can come together or separately. It's whatever
Okay.
you think is the most important for you and your family.
Okay.
You know, and most identity theft problems turn into legal problems.
I would think so.
You have access to attorneys for a number of things. Let's say your Social Security number was compromised and you filed your income taxes, which is based on your Social Security number.
Right.
So now you're going to be dealing with the IRS, the Social Security Administration, and of course you're going to report it, so you're going to be dealing with the FTC. Well, you may need a tax attorney to help you with the IRS, and that's available to you. You may need an attorney to write a letter to the Social Security Administration, or you may need the investigators, give them a power of attorney to be able to deal on your behalf for these different things and get the reimbursement and the restoration set up.
So LegalShield covers like every aspect of attorneys.
Absolutely.
You know, all the different practices.
Absolutely. If it's not covered at 100%, which the majority of our life is covered at 100% on this. But there are some things that would be under what we call our 25% discount, where you would get a referral attorney, which are local attorneys that contract with LegalShield, and they offer you a minimum of a 25% discount. But I have never had to use a referral attorney. Everything I've done over the last 10 years has been through the membership.
Wow. So you've been with LegalShield for 10 years now.
I have.
So you're not just fly-by-night kind of checking it out?
No.
That must be why you're so good at this. How do you, what else does LegalShield do? Just, you know, in separate from identity theft?
Well, I specialize in the area that's called business solutions. And what I do is I'll go into companies and anything from 20 to 100 employees. It works. It's not a problem. I'll go in and I'll offer this as a voluntary benefit. So it's no cost to the company. It's completely voluntary on the part of the employees, but I'm able to offer it at a discounted rate by doing that. Oh. And it gives you the same benefits. It's just going to do it for a little bit less. Plus, we have some specialty plans that allow us to go in, like a law officer legal plan, or a small business plan that allows a small business owner access to just day-to-day questions that they may have. I never tell them, if they're working with an attorney, to stop and stop that relationship. It's just a matter of, sometimes we have day-to-day things. Maybe we have a contract that we want to have reviewed, or maybe you have a copy machine and the servicing agreement, you know, the thing needs to be serviced and it's a constant problem, so it's an executed contract. You can have all those things reviewed, and then steps can be made or letters can be written, that kind of thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And how do you get the word out about LegalShield and IDShield?
You know, I go out and speak to people anywhere that I possibly can to educate them on identity theft. It's super important that people understand what identity theft is and how it can impact your life. So, an example, Helen, let's say you filed your income taxes and you were expecting a refund this year, and that refund was going to send you and Oscar on a cruise, and you were so excited about it. And instead, you got a notice from the IRS that said, hey, we held your refund to go toward the income you earned in Arizona. What would be your first step? Yeah, how can I work there? With these two products, you have the ability to get in touch with the investigators right away, and they will start straightening that out, and the attorneys to also work on your behalf for anything that comes up, so we can get you that refund back.
Sweet. That sounds
Get
good.
you on that cruise.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, I know you do networking, and you've been networking to help grow your business over the last 10 years.
Right.
As a member of NIA Professionals, what has that done different for you on personal and business?
You know, the one thing that I've noticed with networking groups is you don't have the time to truly delve into or develop a relationship. Well, the way NIA is set up, it's not just about networking. It's not about getting together and just passing referrals. It's about establishing a family. And that family just automatically goes to another family member if something comes up, even if it's not a referral that would work for me or for them. I might be able to help them, direct them to a different way. And that's how it is with Katie NIA, with NIA professionals. We're a family, and it makes it completely different than any other networking group that I've been involved in.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You've been a very valuable member. Also, because I know you do other things.
I do.
I know you teach do a lot of training, so it's all about education. You're a great educator, but you also do have a women's retreat that you do annually. Can't wait to hear a little bit of what's coming up. So tell me about that. And I know I do have a little information of a class that you have that everybody out there should be going to. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
I have a class coming up on February the 18th. It's about communication and the power of language. The language that we speak to others, the language that we speak to ourselves, the questions that we ask. Are we communicating in the most effective way? Because you may learn differently than I learned. So you may be communicating with me through your filter rather than through the filter that I would understand. So it's just a different way of looking and thinking about communication. And thanks for mentioning the women's retreat. I will be having another one of those. It'll be toward the end of April. I don't have all the details, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know.
Okay. Where's it going to be?
Galveston.
Oh, so you may walk on the beach. I don't know. I think that's going to be fun. We'll do an interview about that as soon as the details are in.
Okay.
But for those of you out there that are looking for something to kick off your new year and take a client. Take a client to lunch. This is a lunch and learn. I'm going to be there. I've got several of my clients that have already got tickets, and so it's going to be a great class. But you don't have to be a part of NIA to come to this. So, invite your clients, invite your friends, and come learn something. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.